studio. I've come away from my puzzling jigsaw. If you've seen that jigsaw, I'll tell you, it's unbelievable. It's a picture of basil all sorts, like sweets, and they're all random photos. Nothing to go by, nothing makes sense. So it's good to get away from the bloody thing. Anyway guys, how you doing? I hope you're all well. I've been listening to some stuff on the telly earlier on, and I thought what I'd do tonight is something a little bit different. I thought what we'll do, I can see it's gone on live, so I can take my recording off, which is always good. It saves a bit of space. Yeah, that's alright, it's logged it in. We've got the old synthesizer wobbling around there in the background, as you can hear. Yeah, we've been having some fun with them jigsaws, I'll tell you. They have been fun. But, there you go. So it's good to get away. Actually write on here, so you can actually see what's going on. Everything's running nicely tonight, no problems. Well, I won't jinx it. Hi guys, thanks for popping, is that popping? So I'll try and write something here. Popping in, there you go. Hi, thanks for popping in. Hope you're well, and yeah, I'm trying to get the synthesizer going. That's this one here. It's some problems, so we might switch that off. But yeah, I tried to do a little bit of a party last night on BANDCAMP. That's one of my album releases. Let's turn that a bit. So I won't know which one to go down. Some techno there. I don't like that one. You like that one where you can't techno. Not that one, a bit techno. You'd like to be techno. Yeah, so yeah, I was on a bit of a thing last night on BANDCAMP. One of my albums, if I flick it over to here. No, I want to start the recording again. Go away. Yeah, if I flick it over to here, it's one of my albums that I was releasing on BANDCAMP on a sort of storage, a party where you go online and you listen to me and I say what this album is and people can listen to it and that. But BANDCAMP pissed me off last night a bit really because although it was live, every now and again there's stupid adverts kept popping in and I could see my fans disappearing. They was getting fed up with this, so I gave them a right balls up. I did give them a right nasty letter, well, thing. Whether they're ready or not, I don't know, but I wasn't very happy with them because I was trying to promote one of my new albums and all I got was BANDCAMP chucking these bloody adverts at everyone, like, that come on board. And I thought, why? You don't need to do that. It's just as if you go into a shop like and the salesman's right in your freaking face. You know, you don't need it, do you? So after that, I just told them I don't think I'll do another live session on there again to promote an album because they just interfered too many times. Every time a fan came on board, asked me a question, there was bloody BANDCAMP there, put a bloody great thing up there saying that you've got to pay to actually talk to be on here. Who the fuck do they think they are? Well, I'm going to take my albums out. I'm fed up with them. I'm going to go on to another site where I've started already, and it's like a record site. This is hopefully the new Spotify, because people can actually go on there store a little bit of money in there, about £20 or something, and use that £20 to listen to music. Bit of a strange way of doing it, but when you think of it, you're paying nearly that probably on Spotify anyway. And then you add it all up over the years, or add it all up over a year, you'll be surprised how much you wasted. But you do it this way, your £20 could go a long way, because every time you listen to a song on this sort of website, which is sounds.de on the end, they only charge something like about 5p to listen to 5p to listen to an album, and an album's probably about, I don't know, you've got 12 tracks on there, 10 tracks, something like that. So you're listening to it for 5p. You don't store it, and it's not yours, but you're listening to it. It's a radio station, that's what it is. It's a pay-as-you-go radio station. And I think that's more fairer than anyone to the fans and that. And BANDCAMP are pissing me off a bit at the moment, because they're not letting us to communicate with fans, and they're not letting the fans come and to communicate with me. And I've had a lot of problems talking to a lot of people that's trying to get through and ask us about different albums and things, and they just keep blocking them out. So I've had a word with other artists, and they're getting exactly the same. So I think BANDCAMP, what used to be one of the very best things to put in your music, is there now going to be bloody worse, because they won't stop interfering. They're chucking adverts at people left, right and centre. And I think it's wrong. I think it's terrible. That is, it's just as if you come through you come in through a shop, and the salesman's like, you know, he's straight in your face, like, you know, can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir? And everywhere you walk, can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir? That's it. They're not going to stand for it. This has only happened since last few years, since BANDCAMP actually sold out to SoundTrader, and I think that SoundTrader has done a deal, or actually been threatened by Spotify, the guy that owns that, to actually implode BANDCAMP. Now what that means is they get a way of making it look like it's failing, but it's not failing. It's a clever technique to show that it's not your fault that these things failing, because all you're doing is you're making it implode. So you're giving it a lot of problems, so it's not going to work. And I think that's what's happened. I think since BANDCAMP has sold out to SoundTrader, that's what they've done. And slowly, it's got worse and worse and worse. And now we're not allowed to actually communicate with our fans unless they pay us to actually talk to us. You know, that is a fucking way out. That's well out, that is. So I shall be looking probably around to put all my music on SoundD, which is a radio station. It doesn't store the music. It has the music on board, but it doesn't store it, so you can't download it. But you have the chance to listen to it for a very, very little amount. I mean, if you listen, you took a track off one of my singles, off one of my albums, that's £1.50. That £1.50, you could listen to loads of albums on Soundy. It's sound.de. Because it's German, DE. I mean, he's the only guy that's had the common sense to actually do it, so I'm on board with him, and I'll help him out, no problem. So I've advertised it left, right and centre, and that's where I'm steadily putting my music. I've got 50 songs on there now, so if you see the little link down the bottom, go and have a look at it. As for tonight, I've been looking at, funny enough, some stuff on the BBC, actually, 40 years ago. And there's some strange stuff on here. I thought I'd have a go at them, but with a modern sort of twist, a bit of a modern beat. So we'll try this one then. This one's January. Enjoy. I'm just going to see what we come across with this one. There you are, completely different rhythm. bit of a techno January. Techno January, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So, yeah, that's come through quite well, isn't it? Okay. Well, yeah, what's on the list? Good question. What's on the list? Okay, well, we've got something else on the list here. Let's change a little atmosphere here. We'll take that light off. We'll put the spaceman on. It's spaceman. There you go. Ooh. Let's put this image on the roof. Yeah, that looks good. So that, yeah, so what we got? I'll see that. Oh, there you go. So basically we got January, which was an old one. Then we got Not in Love, which is 10cc. This was an interesting one. There's a whole lot of love in. That's by the oh God, I can't remember who the hell did it now. But it's quite a chilled out one. I think it was an advert actually. An advert did on that one. Let me show you Streets of London. That's that one I've got on there and all. And then I've got I'll Be There. I'll Be There. I think that's that one. I did got Bohemian Rhapsody on there, but I've not really tried that one. So, well, yeah, it's going to be quite interesting and quite fun having a go at these. Just basically writing these songs down as I was watching the telly, and I thought I'll just give these a little bit of a twist and put different rhythms to them to see where it goes. So I've then just come in the studio and switched everything on and playing by ear, so it should be quite interesting. It definitely won't get no copyrights, put it that way. So there you go. Hey Russ, how's it going, mate? All right? Okay, so we're going to change the thing, and they don't sound bad for 40-year-old keyboards, do they? Okay, let's see if we can find a rhythm for this one then. It'll have to be a gentle one, won't it? So let's see. No. Ooh, that's interesting. I can slow that one down a bit. That'd be cool. Seems to work. And again. Was called like Guys and Dolls back in the, we're going 40 years back actually, back in the 80s. Yeah, there's a whole lot of loving going on in the heart and the world. Yeah, if you were listening to radio, the BBC on the, BBC Two, yeah, they was doing 40 years of music going back, and one of them was one of those. The other one was January, which I did earlier on, like. Whether I can do this next one's going to be fun, because all of these I've never tried, but playing by ear, this is how I pick things up. This should be interesting. I'm Not in Love, 10cc. Okay, we're going to take a different rhythm altogether. That's quite a nice one, but it's got the wrong rhythm to it, so I can't really do that because you don't really want to do it to a techno. We might do it to a slow one of those. Let's have a look. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I'm not quite sure about the rhythm though. good idea if you do it wrong a few times, because then you don't get copyrights. I just love synthesizers. Yeah, so that was my version of Not in Love with a completely different rhythm. That was a dance rhythm. Okay, so 10cc would be not quite interested in that one probably, but there again, that's a different version you'll probably never hear again. Although it's pretty good, I quite like that. Yeah. And the other one was the Guys and Dolls, I think, A Whole Lot of Loving. There's a whole lot of loving in the world going on. That one. It's a feeling I never knew in you. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. If you can do that when you're playing by ear, then you've cracked it. Okay. Here's one that probably would have fitted that dance one. This one's I'll Be There. This is interesting. I can't remember anything of it, bit of it, but I listened to it earlier on. Got to find out how it goes first before I can get to rhythm and then match something with it. I'll be there. Be there. Da 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 da. Try it down a bit more. Well, see, we've got to hit some black ones. Experiment, eh? Hang on. Okay, right. Start off on the right one, be better. First time I tried this, so bear with us. Hit a lot of blacks here. Right, let's get this into 4-3-2. Do as close as I can. brilliant. I love it. Okay, let's go somewhere else then. Absolutely love synthesizers. Okay, well, they're not sounding too bad, these are. They're about 1980 these come out, 1980, 82, 83, something like that. They're top of the whack, those, all of them. They're best of the best when they came out. These, 11 grand, I think, back in 1980, 11 grand each, something like that. Well, equal to 11 grand today, anyway, about 2000 and a half each. Back in the 80s. No wonder they're rare. Okay, these are the Casios, these are. Yep, the firm that went out of business many, many years ago, and then Technics came along and took them over. And so all this technology is still here. So all these people that pay loads of money for these add-ons they put on their computer, I've got the real things. And they sound just as good as the day they came out the factory. They've all been looked after in top quality studios, and obviously I look after this now, like they all stay in a nice warm heated studio, and looked after very well. And that's why they get all these fantastic sounds. You'll never get the original sounds unless you've got the original instruments. That's the thing, which is, I love it, absolutely. All the tricks and that you can do. As well as the Van. They came out roughly when the same Vangelis came out, so they got all them sounds and all, like, you know. Got all the slides and that. And you can mix and match and layer them and all sorts of things. It's quite cool. So, I'll be there. That didn't work very well, did it? Trying to take some songs what I've heard today on the BBC, and then trying to make them onto a different rhythm. Although this one sounds pretty good. I sometimes do it on the Tyrus downstairs, or the Technics, with the Tyrus Technics. Let me take you through the streets of London. Now we can do the original version, or we can do a little bit different. Let's see what rhythms we've got, and let's play it. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That fits. Here we go. let me take you through the streets of London. Let me show you something you've never seen before and all that sort of thing. Yeah. How we got on board then? Russ is there, Joey's there, hey, Fred's there, Stephen's there, Sarah's there. Hello guys, how you doing guys? Hope you're checking out the links for all my other stuff. I've got 36, 39, 30, 34 albums. All on BANDCAMP. Yeah, whip over there, there's loads of links. So what have we got here? These are the ones I've been writing down today. Not been trying them, but just writing them. Do the hustle. Oh, okay, let's see what we got on here. Might be able to find a different sound for this one. Bit tricky. hustle. That's what they used to go in the 70s, do the hustle. Ah, dear me, it's all good fun. What else we got in there? Let's see what else we can make. Whoa, rock and roll. nothing like a bit of quo, is there? Eh? Nothing like a bit of quo. Can't be a bit of quo. Get going. There you go. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. I hope you're okay. I go on this late, basically, because then I can talk to all my friends around the world. And as you can see, I've got 5,500 friends all over the world, dotted all over the place. So they've got different times, and they all say, can you come on this time? Can you come on that time? So I've worked out roughly, if I go on not really late at night time, there's a good chance we can catch you all. So wherever you are in the world, there you go. Okay, let's do a little bit of rock and roll, shall we? That's not a rock and roll. We're going to try and rock and roll. What we got? Okay, that's quite close. I can do something with that. A bit quicker than that, though. Let's do... Let's bit of ELO, shall we? There's one of the ELOs, and so we can do this one. But they're really slow on some. In fact, the rhythm might not work. Big ending. Yeah, the first time I've done that on that rhythm. In fact, I don't quite know how it fitted actually. It was quite on the dance track. Really, really slow on the dance track. But it seemed to work. So we won't muck it up. Okay, love that. Oh, we've got a different one now. You just can't beat them vintage sounds. So what we've got 4 variations on the right hand here. We could have one of them. Or we could have a voice. Or we could have a bottle whistle. A bit of Vangelis stuff here. Let's see what this one's got then. Yeah, a little bit of the old Pest Shop Boys in there, and the other one, whatever I did, I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, all good stuff. So, okay, we're going to flip the old camera around, because I use 2 cameras now, I don't use 3. The other one played up a little bit, so bear with me. Because we're going to turn you around. There you go. We turned you around. This one, let me introduce you to, is the Technics. So after the after the Casios went out of business 40 years ago, 30 years. Whoa! Yeah, Technics took over the factory. So it's still got all the stuff for the Casios there, and Technics brought them on board. So this one is my Technics SX KN 6000, and it's got a few more things. We've got a few tricks on there, and there's all sorts of things. Got pads. Okay, let's see what we've got then. That sounded a bit strange. Just shake the cable. There you go. Plug it back in. It doesn't sound like a darling, doesn't it? Well, it does in my headphones. I don't know if it does over to you guys. Bit of rock and roll then. Here's one that I get asked for every single week, and I don't mind doing it. I quite like it actually. It's the Killers. Here we go. go. We'll finish off with a bit of Jean-Michel Jarre. One of my favourites. And thank you very much for joining me. It's come quite late now. We're going to put this one on YouTube, going straight into the office now, and pop this one on. And then I'll be on later tonight with my Sunday chill downstairs with the other two keyboards. Got music all over the place, this house. So I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a trip round, changing different instruments. Well, basically just changing different sounds and taking different songs and putting them on different rhythms to see if they fit. It's been great. I quite enjoyed it. Hope you have too. Thank you very much for joining me all around the world. My name is Steve Francis. I'll see you soon. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Hello, let's change that. Bing. There you go. Press the button, we can get back to where we were. So, yeah, a little bit of a difference there. And as normal, we'll just zip over to my critics, because we have some critics on here. So guys, what did you reckon to that? Did you think it was all right?
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, it's like that. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. It sounds quite giddy and noisy and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. And over to next.
Yes, I quite like that one. Thank you very much. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, bit of rocking, bit of rolling, you know.
And yeah, I quite like that one. Yeah. Bit of rhythm, bit of voice, bit of movement, bit of sound. Yeah, thank you very much.
And I think I like that one. Yes, I do like that.
Okay. Yes, as you can tell, it was me with my magic trick box here. Still getting used to it. There's loads of things. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And I usually got my girl.
You guys are so great.
Yeah, I usually pay her for. Thank you very much. You spot on. You're a little bit late there on that one. Yeah, that's. Oh gosh, we've got all sorts here. Even got a seagull. Oh, thank you very much. No, we don't want that one. We like